So people upstairs, I mean, I've talked to them a little bit here and there, but it's kind of just one of those, like, I'm not close with them at
Oh,
all,
no, not close,
right?
yeah.
Like, it's kind of this, like, I'm their tenant, they're my landlord or whatever, kind of keep a distance, right? Because I can only imagine that.
Well, yeah, they're like, you could say your neighbors. Same with my roommates. You don't talk much, just sometimes when we're outside or
Yeah.
if it's something important.
It's funny because, like, the only thing that we talk to each other about is just like, hey, how's it going? Good. How are you? Oh, good. And then we go about our day.
And then off to work, yeah.
Yeah, right. So it's funny that they probably notice it too. They're probably like, oh, that's all we ever talk about. It's like, hey, how's it going? Blah blah blah. It's like, other than maybe 2 or 3 times, there's never really a full-on conversation. I mean, we have more full-on conversations, at the end of the year when it's time to talk about, if the rent's going to go up or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Right?
You should tell them that you have like a studio here, and then you can be on YouTube. Just like invite them over. But then that's probably like a soon though.
That's the kind of thing where, like, they know that I do photography. Like, I don't do photography, but they've come down here to fix something.
Oh,
and
okay.
they've
Oh,
seen all this stuff.
Oh,
Right?
okay. They like it.
So,
Okay.
so they asked me, "Are you into, like, photography?" And I was like, "Yeah, for the most part, right."
And we're rolling. We're still
Mm-hmm.
okay. Oh, and
We are rolling.
yeah. Oh, and so I actually went to that Riptide guy's barbecue though.
Yeah. So Clayton said he was there and he saw.
But he actually came late. Him and came late though.
Yeah.
He missed the barbecue and the concert. It was some.
Oh yeah, he was.
There was some
telling me
rock
about
band
it.
playing in
Yeah.
the grass area.
I have a feeling that I wouldn't have been able to because of my thing with. So, I mean, I respect her. I have nothing against her or anything like that, right? When things broke off between us, it wasn't like a huge thing, right? So, but I mean, I've made some decisions, some choices where she doesn't like me very much right now, right? I had said a couple of things, but it's not like they were bad, but it was just kind of snarky.
What's good? You guys aren't like major enemies, so you guys are still a bit close. You can still like.
I mean, like, if we bumped into each other, it'll be just like a hi bye kind of thing. There wouldn't be any drama between us, right? But yeah, I don't think so. Anyways, I mean, she used to come here to clean my house, even after the fact, right? Like, every 4 or 5 months, she'd come here and just it'd give her like $150 to clean up my house for 2 or 3 hours or whatever it was, right?
Okay, so you gave her a job, you could say, yeah, like a part time.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I did it to try and, like, bring myself back into her life a little bit, right? But it wasn't working, so I was just like, I'll just use this as a way to get my house clean instead, right? So it's funny. Like, even I bumped into a friend of mine today, and I asked him, I was like, "Is this something you'd be interested in doing?" He's like, absolutely not. Like, no way am I going to talk like on camera and put myself through pressure like that. But we were talking for about 10 minutes.
Tell him to practice like by himself. Like, remember public speaking in school? Did you used to do public speaking, Ryan, or you can't public speaking in school, elementary school? So just it was like that.
You got to do like public or presentations and
presentation,
stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
I know. I'm pretty sure he's done that, but he just seems like I can't say he's introverted because he was very open with me when we started talking. I was like, "Hey, Peter, how's it going? I haven't seen you in like 8 or 9 years, right?" And all of a sudden, he was a 10-minute conversation. So that was great. And he was the guy that, when we talked so many years ago, he was talking about movies and all sorts of things like that, right? He's kind of a nerd like me a little bit, right? But I guess when it comes to stuff like this, he's like, nope. And, you got to respect people like that, I guess, right? So, I mean, he might come around as soon as he hears this stuff. He'll probably be like, yeah, okay, I might do it or whatever. And I might give him that opportunity where, he could just kind of sit in and watch, right? He doesn't have, if he doesn't want to, he doesn't have to participate, right? So I can come up with questions and just chit chat. And that's all it takes, really, right? Just like now. I mean, I'm pretty sure you were probably nervous about, what am I going to talk about? What are we going to say or whatever?
Well, I do actually have something to talk about. When I was at the barbecue, I met some other guy, and he was talking about how there was a bus strike that happened in Abbotsford, or there's some strike happening in downtown Vancouver. And he was saying that those bus drivers want more benefits or more money is because they're scared of their lives. I'm like, why is that? And he said they're scared because of there's some like psycho people that come in the bus and
pretty sketchy people, I would imagine,
and
right?
not pay the full fare,
Yeah.
and then get into a fight, and then they might stab the driver.
Yeah.
So they allow him to get in for free and stuff. Yeah,
Huh.
that's what we were talking about.
Interesting.
And then so that guy was asking me, how can this be fixed? So I told him they can wear bulletproof vests, or they can be like armed, or like they can be.
So they wear chainmail around their neck.
Or, yeah. Or and I told them that how about the city should invest in hiring a security guard in the bus, kind of like an air marshal. Yeah. Do you know what an air marshal is in the plane?
Yeah.
An undercover cop.
Well, it doesn't even have to be undercover. You just, because there's a security guard on there, or somebody likened to a police officer. Anybody that goes on there is not going to be fucking around, right? Just like if you know that there's like an air marshal on an airplane, like I imagine there's probably going to be a couple of them on the airplane to actually do any good if there's a terrorist attack or something like that, right? But yeah, like a small bus full of like 30 people. Imagine like one security guard that has probably more credentials than just a security guard, somebody that's allowed to defend themselves maybe. Because a lot of security guards, they're not allowed to do that. They just have a baton if they get attacked, right? And like first chance they get, they're only allowed to call the cops.
Yeah, I know.
Right? Do you know a guy named Hark?
Hark who? Hark.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
Yeah, so he's a security guard right now. He was telling me. And I asked him if he wanted to come on. He said, absolutely. So maybe in a week or two.
I know him. Ask him if he knows me. He knows my brother. We hung out at the bars though. Yeah.
Yeah. So I bumped into him actually at Mill Lake here about my birthday, actually. I took my daughter to Mill Lake for pizza and ice cream. And I bumped into him, and he's... It's funny. He was like, we're sitting down. We were talking about him and stuff like that. What he's doing. He's married now and everything.
Oh, Hark.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he's been married for I think a year now.
Oh, a year. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then he's just like, yeah, I really enjoy walking around Mill Lake. And he looks at me. He's like, you should enjoy walking around Mill Lake too. And he looks at my gut. He's like, it's like, you might want to get rid of that.
Yeah, what happens when you age? Yeah, I got to get rid of my gut too.
I go to the gym. I went to the gym quite often up until January, February. I had, just feet problems.
Yeah, Harks, I think both his parents and his brother, they were all like security guards though. And also I actually did a course on BST 1 and 2, like the basic security, 2008. So I got my certificate, but I applied for security, but I got nothing in return. So then I decided to get another job though.
Okay, so what are you doing now?
Now I work like multiple like jobs. On weekends I help my dad at his meat shop. He owns this East Indian meat shop, and the other days I go to that. There's 2 employment centers where they send me to places.
Oh, like
here
a
and
labor.
there. Yeah, labor, and they're all like construction sites. And then they pay me like weekly. One is called employment specialist, and one is called Embers. And
I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's Embers. It's a way down I think at Tim Hortons by like over the highway though. Yeah.
Okay.
And the only problem is that sometimes the slots are full, so then you won't get like work hours though. So then I gotta ask though.
So they get you to work at, like you said,
construction site and some other
like at 3
places.
o'clock, because you was like, oh yeah, I'm not sure if I'll let you know by 3:30.
Yes, 3:30, because then they might call me up. Another place they send me is that recycling plant, which is on the Mission Highway, way over there.
Yeah,
I think you've been there till you drop things off there.
I thought that place was closed.
It's not yet though. It's gonna be closed in like January because it's gonna be having new ownership. It's it kind of feels like a prison job because you feel like you're being punched.
You gotta wear like an orange jumpsuit.
Well, no, just a vest.
Okay.
And it feels like a prison job because you're sorting through garbage. It's like how prisons clean up. You're not really cleaning up. The conveyor belt comes and there's paper, plastic, and metal, and you just gotta separate them in different bins. Though, yeah. So no walking around and running. You just gotta stand in one spot. So that's the only downside. You gotta put cushions like mats on the floor though. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. but it's gonna close down in January. But then I'm actually gonna miss working there though. I was there for 3 years. I used to work there average like two or three times a week, and sometimes if the spots were full, so then they sent me to other place though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. And did I tell you from 2013 to I think December 2021, I was working at Walmart as an overnight stalker though. Yeah. But over there, they want you to work very fast. Open up boxes, put stuff on the wall, and then flatten the box, and then move on though. Yeah. Yeah. What I did like is that they give you a 10% employees discount, but here's something embarrassing though, that I actually that you can't lend your discount cards to other people, even your own family members. You got to be there with them. I lent it to my
that's lame.
Yeah, I actually lent it to my mom and some other family member, and then I got caught, so they let me go. And another reason
they fired you for that.
They fired me for that. Yeah, that's true. And another reason was that another manager saying I was getting too slow though, because I have attention deficit disorder, and then
everybody's got that.
Yeah, so I gotta take that medicine, dextromethorphan, and it kind of worked. Yeah. And I was there for just for 9.5 years, and they let me go though. Yeah. I was getting slow and a bit old, and they don't want younger people working.
And do you get full shifts there, or is it always just?
Yeah, I was. They gave me the full shift, but once the international students came because of Trudeau, they cut my hours off.
I thought they would just get everybody to work part time or whatever, so they wouldn't have to pay benefits.
Well, the international students.
Well, anybody.
No. The international students, they also work part time, but they got no benefits because they weren't citizens. We were citizens.
Okay, so that makes sense.
Makes it. That's why they rather hire them instead of Canadians, so Walmart can save money.
I wonder if they're allowed to still do that. You're taking away jobs from actual Canadians.
Good job, so big companies can save money. They have to give them.
Yeah, somebody was telling me that. Don't quote me on this. I'm not 100% sure, but I was having a conversation with either my buddy Clayton or maybe somebody at work, and I guess they're not even allowed. I don't know if it's the United States is not allowed to do that anymore, or they're not allowed to do that here. But I think there has been a law passed where they're not allowed to do that anymore.
Oh, you mean hire international students?
Well, just hire internet. Yeah, well, exactly.
If they
take away a Canadian job.
If they came here legally, and then they can, but they can only work pretty much just 20 hours a week, which is half of.
Yeah, so if they're working 20 hours, that's part time then, and then they just shift more of them over to work, right? That's
20 hours
insane.
And then because they have school and stuff. Yeah. And then and my parents were mad too, is that they chose me over the students, and also they let me go because I lended my own mom the discount card. Yeah. You only get 10% discount, but you still have to pay the GST and PST, so that's 12%, and that leaves you with 2% paying. But I didn't mind
really
though.
Dumb.
Yeah, it was dumb though. But I didn't mind because they ended up, they were they put me in the frozen section, which was too cold for me. So I decided no worries though. Yeah.
So with your ADHD medication, does that help your?
It does
your
help.
Stutter.
Stuttering, no, it doesn't help with stutter.
Have you ever taken speech therapy for it?
Oh, I did when I was young. I did. I went to speech therapy, and they tell me to talk very slowly and not when you're nervous and stuff. And that's what they all taught me though. Yeah. Okay. So I sometimes stutter. Yeah. It kind of worked though. Yeah.
Probably something you'd have to just keep practicing and training yourself to do. And it's kind of, I imagine it's probably hard because life happens and people get anxiety over anything.
Mm-hmm, yeah,
right?
Anxiety. Yeah, they
right.
panic
So
and stuff.
something happens in your life and you're just you completely forget about what you're supposed to be doing and you just live in the moment, right? Have you experienced anything in your work life where crazy shit happens or an incident? Have you ever gotten hurt on the job?
Well, there was a time when I was working at that recycling place, and it was hot, around 29 degrees or something, and then I had a heat stroke. I bent down to grab some bunch of papers that I dropped, and then when I got up, and then I fainted. I got dizzy, and everybody looked at me weird, and I'm like, oh, I'm fine, and I got back up. I had a
You
heat
fainted?
stroke. Fainted because I had a heat stroke though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, like when you faint, do you know that you're fainting?
No,
You
here's the
just
thing.
drop to the
Yeah,
ground and just get back up?
I just dropped and I didn't even know how I got on the ground. Like I didn't remember falling down,
Yeah.
down because I was like my brain was like just dead. I just
Yeah.
fell down and then I
Huh.
got back up. And then they told me you have to drink a lot of water and stuff to everybody, so we ought to carry water bottles
everywhere.
with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where were you guys during the heat wave? It hit 35 degrees just 2 days ago.
Yeah, so I was at work.
Oh, okay. Oh.
But like
Did you have
inside
had air
where
conditioners?
what's that?
Did you have air conditionings? Or
No.
let me guess.
No, there's no air conditioning, but like we have bay doors, so we leave most of them open. That being said, like if it's 35 degrees outside, like you'd think it'd be the opposite, that it'd feel hotter in the warehouse, right? Especially when you're working and stuff like that. But it feels like maybe anywhere between 5 to 10 degrees less.
It has to do with the concrete walls, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it makes sense.
That's very likely. That's concrete walls. I'm wearing like jeans and like a thick fabric kind of shirt, and I got like these arm guards I got to wear all the time, and then sweaty hands because the gloves you're wearing all the time, right? And you're constantly walking back and forth in my machine.
But here's the thing: that places I worked, they gave you an extra 5 minutes in their breaks because it was like a water break. And
Yeah.
you guys should do that.
So we have 2 half-an-hour breaks where I work. If you work 12-hour days, or even longer, 14 or 15-hour days, sometimes that just had happened, right? So you'd have 2 half-an-hour breaks, and then after lunch was usually 12:30 to 1. So around 3:30, 4 o'clock, if you knew you were going to be there till 6 or 7, they gave you opportunities for another 15-minute break between at 4:30 or 5 or whatever it was or whatever, right? But nobody really took them because that just meant you're going to be there longer, right? Because like if you the longer you take breaks, especially extra breaks, like people just want to go home, right? So they already know they have to be there till shit gets done, so they just want to get it done and go home, even if that means staying a little bit later.
But well, another reason some job sites don't give too many breaks is because they have to they had to pay for those 15-minute breaks. Like
Yeah.
they're free for the workers. But
Yeah.
then but I was thinking that can you get paid by the minute? Take a longer break. Just swipe in your card. So if you take a longer break, then sure you still lose money and stuff. And then that way at
the end of the day,
do you get paid by the minute or no?
Yeah, I get paid by the hour, not by the minute.
Okay,
But
no,
it's the
'cause you
same thing. But yeah, the other thing is too is like it's not that they're losing money per se. I mean, like maybe technically they are. I have no idea, but like you got to make sure that you have good morale in the workforce, right? So if somebody needs an extra 5 minutes or 10 minutes for a break because it's 40 degrees out or whatever, give it to them, because like they'll work harder for you later if they know that they can take breaks not whenever they want, but like extra breaks when it's needed, or if they need to do something like leave work or whatever to pick up their kid, or if you just give them those opportunities, right? Give them a little leeway, right? They're going to work hard for you later because they're going to be like, well, I don't want to get rid of this job, right? Like I respect this job. I respect my employer. He's giving me all these perks and these benefits. Why not work hard for this guy, right? And that's my mentality.
I know like job's a job, but then what I don't like is that the lunchrooms are there's not enough seats. The tables are too small and they get too crowded. Some people go outside in the car and stuff. Though, is that same as yours, or do you have?
Yeah. So, I mean, to each his own when it comes to that. But I would say in the first few years that I worked where I work, I would eat in my car, right? Because I didn't know anybody, and when I first worked there was a pretty good turnover, especially in my area where I worked. The first year that I worked there, I dealt with tubs, like forming bathtubs, right? And there was a bit of it, like every 3 to 6 months, there'd be new employees all the time, right? I ate in my car, and then we had 2 lunchrooms. There was an office lunchroom where all the office ladies went. Nobody really ate in there. None of the dudes or whatever, because they're all dirty and shit like that, right?
The office, I thought that was like the VIP because that's where all.
Well, it kind of is. It kind of is a bit of a VIP, right? And they had one across the warehouse where everybody could eat in there. All the warehouse dudes, right? Make fun of each other, and it was great. And then, like I said, there was a point where there was the same people for about 2 or 3 or 4 years. Shit just happens, and then there's turnovers again and again and again. Especially when COVID hit, they were going through people like crazy.
Social distancing.
Right?
I remember before COVID though, like if it was somebody's birthday or somebody should just bring cake or something, or pizza or Tim Hortons, though. That was fun. And there's a province news. Do you have newspapers people read or no? Everyone's on their phone.
Everybody's on their phone. Like you had the like 1 or 2 people or whatever. They're always reading. Like we had this one lady in there. She was reading all the, what were they? They were not Game of Thrones, but it was like kind of like the female version of it. Yes, Hunger Games, right? Very rare that there were women working in the warehouse. I think there's only 2 working in there now. We actually came to this point where let everybody know that like, oh, I'm a filmmaker, like I like to do all this shit. Like there was about 5 to 10 of us thinking of ideas what we could do for short films. And then like I was like, I'll fucking write it. So I'd go home and I'd write this 3 or 4 page little script and I'd bring it to work, and then everybody would get a chance. I'd like copy out 2 or 3 copies of them or whatever, right? And give them to everybody at work, and people would judge the fuck out of it, criticize the shit out of it. Or some people liked it. Like I had this idea, you'd have these characters, these kids, whatever, would be going around, and they're acting like drug dealers, but instead of selling drugs, they're selling bacon, right? Bacon bits. Like, and I was really trying to it was only like a 5-page script, and I had probably about 2 or 3 people really wanting to get involved to make this, right? And a buddy of mine is like, oh, I know this guy. He's a bit younger than me, but like he went to film school, and he'd be interested in getting involved in filming this. Him basically being the director kind of thing, right? Because he had all the film equipment as well. So I had a meeting with him, and it just didn't go well. I think he didn't like the idea, or he didn't take it seriously, but he was just humoring us, I guess. I was like, well, if you didn't like it, you could have just said you're not interested over the phone, right?
Yeah,
Instead
over
of
the
taking
phone.
2 meetings or whatever. So
you can't believe you walked out. What do you ever just told him that just go for it, just play the role because it's like a stepping stone for his career?
Yeah, so like I think he thought, like this is just me speculating. I don't know this for sure, but he probably just thought that he was better than what we were doing, and he didn't want to waste his time with this, right? Because I saw some of his work, and it was way better than what we were going to do. He showed me like short films, and they were like little like zombie apocalypse kind of films. And
I remember you told me a long time ago you were planning you wrote a script about some monster or like some Bigfoot guy where everybody thinks he's the villain, the bad guy, but then he said he wants to be the good guy or something. He wants to like bring his kind back to extinction, or you were saying, or no?
Maybe that was something I made up at the moment.
I think that was like, I don't know, 15.
Yeah.
15,
50, what do you mean, 15 years ago?
Yeah, I think 2010, I think, or
fuck,
2011.
we've known each other that long?
Yeah, 2010. I think we went through
Jenny. We met through
2009, 2010.
Maybe, because I remember
Station Pub.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that was the day of the Station Pub.
Yeah, it was good, yeah.
So that was good. It was a really rundown fucking place. I met a lot of people that I still run into today, right? So it was good in that aspect, but I mean, I remember the last time I chose never to go there again, somebody got stabbed by a pen.
Somebody got stabbed by a pen?
Yeah, I freaking saw it.
Where did they get a pen in
I
a
don't
bar?
know.
They brought it with
I don't know. Maybe they just had it on them or something like that. Somebody got stabbed by a pen, and I was just like, yeah, this is right around that time where I just stopped showing up. Right?
Well, I'm not afraid of a pen.
Well, still, yeah. I mean, like, I don't want to have to go to the hospital on a night where I'm just having a good time.
Yeah, I was like, it was turning a bit ghetto, like raunchy though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So now, guess what? It turned into a.
Isn't it? It was a comedy club for a little while, wasn't it?
That was in the basement, though. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Well,
I think they had it upstairs for a little while, and then
upstairs,
they
yeah, a
and
little
then they
while.
did bring it downstairs to the
And then
basement.
yeah, and then there was also the Foundation Club. They actually had a club in 2014. It opened
Huh.
up. You don't remember?
I vaguely remember that. I
Are you,
remember the name, the foundation.
are you living
Was
here in Abbotsford?
no,
Oh,
I've been living in here.
a
I've been living
decade.
here since 2002, 2003.
Okay, 2002. Okay.
I haven't moved from. Well, I mean, I moved to Mission here and there, but for like a year.
Okay. Well, the foundation only lasted for like 6 or 7 months. I
Oh,
don't know.
that's
But
probably why
but
I don't remember.
but that was actually like a club, not a pub or a bar, but a club, like the big
Yeah.
dance floor. And
I do remember the name, and it's very likely that I did go there.
that was in 2014, and then now the whole building, like the hotel, is like a homeless shelter where all the homeless people live.
Yeah.
So you got to go across the street to the Tipsy Barrel. Though, yeah, just try it out. Have you been there?
No, if it's anything like Town Hall, I'd have no interest.
Town Hall was more like an English pub, but Tipsy Barrel is like a
A club?
no, not a club. It's like a more like a northeastern American kind of I don't know, like a hipsterish. But you just try it out though. I can't. But it's not European though. But it's got the same crew, the people,
Yeah,
young
I would
people.
imagine.
Though.
Like I went to Town Hall and I just did not enjoy myself. It was too loud. Like I guess it's a club, right? That's what it is, right? It was probably about 5 years ago I went there, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and I felt like the oldest person there, and I was only like what 36 or 37 at the time. Nobody there was over 25 years old. Even the servers might have been like maybe 28. I remember going there once before, many years ago, with my buddy Clayton and his some of his family members, and we were all sitting at the table. There was probably about 6 or 7 of us, and this blonde chick, just comes up and starts having a conversation with all of us. Right? Beautiful chick, beautiful woman. Right? Like probably about 30 years old, anywhere between 26 to 30 years old. Right? And it was probably maybe around 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, right, in the summertime. And she just sat down and started talking to us. But every once in a while, like nobody wanted to talk to her because there's like, why are you, this random woman by herself, sitting down with us? Like it was sketchy, right? Every once in a while, she'd look behind her, and there was this dude sitting by himself. It almost looked like he was waiting for one of us to hit on her or touch her or something like that, so he can get in a fight.
What the hell, man?
Right, so that's what it looked like.
She was a biatch, yeah.
Right, so that's what it looked like. There's no saying maybe she was being genuine, but that's really what it looked like. And everybody saw that, and nobody talked to her. Like we talked, we said a couple of words to her or whatever, right? But beyond that, everybody was making sure no one had their hands, by their side. They weren't going to touch her or anything like that.
Did you ask her like, "What's up?"
We didn't say anything.
You're a gold digger.
No, we didn't say anything like that. Like let her sit there for 5 minutes, and then she got up and left.
Okay,
right.
Yeah,
so it was
thanks for the
awkward,
company,
but
yeah.
I mean, she put herself in that position.
Well,
but I
you
can't
guys
see
dodged the
myself being
bullet.
caught there again, right? Like maybe if I'm seeing somebody and they want to go there for an evening, sure, whatever. Right?
Well, it's nice and cozy. Like the lights are like a toned down. It's like an old fashioned kind.
Yeah,
though.
it's kind of like
it's good during
it's like
winter
they,
time.
they dim it down to make it look more romantic. It's just not the crowd for me anymore. Like I like the mellow pub kind of thing, right? I mean, I like it. I like a pub to be active. Like I like karaoke. I like live bands, and I like a busy pub. But like a club, no. I mean, I've been to clubs in Vancouver and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, those were of course the best. Well, that's what young people want. They want like clubs because they think the rest is all boring.
Mm-hmm.
Well, another thing is that it's Abbotsford, and they don't, and all the bars are closed at 1, and because it's in a Bible
not even
belt.
now anymore. Like the only one that's closed at 1 o'clock is Abbey Road. Everyone else closes at 12. Because like in Vancouver, they're shutting things down at 4 o'clock in the morning now. So I've been told. I think in the last few years, business has been super slow. So maybe they just added that for better business. I don't know, but as illegal as it might sound, I think speakeasies would be awesome to have. You know what a speakeasy is? Underground pubs in homes.
Oh, homes, yeah.
Right? Like, so if you have like a big ass house or whatever, in your
Mhm.
basement could be I mean, it could be anywhere really. It doesn't
Right.
have to be a home, but
Well,
like an underground place where you can just, it's like a privatized.
he had it in his home. He lived on Marshall Road in 2016. Him and his roommate was a
Well,
DJ.
we're gonna cut that part out. We don't
Oh.
want to get in trouble. Oh, because we don't want to say names when it comes to illegal stuff, right? Right. So we'll say allegedly, so we don't get in trouble. Allegedly, he had a speakeasy downstairs,
Well,
but it wasn't
it was
really
more
that. It was
like an
just more
after
of a
party.
party. It was an
Yeah,
after party.
more like an after
Yeah.
party.
So a speakeasy is a legit business that's privatized in your own home.
But the thing
selling
is that
alcohol.
but
So
the
he
thing
didn't have that.
But the thing is that the words will spread and the cops will find out and it'll shut down though. Yeah. Did you hear during the pandemic? Remember when some casinos were closed, shut down in Toronto? Somebody threw a casino, underground casino, in his basement or something. He owned some big property, and then I don't know. And then somebody snitched because maybe that person lost a lot of money, so he called the police, and then the cops came and shut it down. And the cops were like shocked, like holy shit, this is something you see in a movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, they found slot machines and tables inside a basement of someone's house. This was in Toronto, and during the pandemic.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was it hit national news though. There was like lots of slot machines though. This guy put invested a lot of money on it, but sadly he got busted.
Huh.
Yeah, that's
I didn't
another
hear
thing.
about that one.
Yeah, well, this was like 4 years ago. I think, of course, during the pandemic. So,
Yeah.
so way back in the day. Yeah. But are you glad? Are you glad the pandemic is over?
Oh
yeah.
no, absolutely not. I wish it would
you
just keep going and going and going and going. You know? No, I'm kind of glad. Well, it benefited me in one way, right? Whereas I made a lot of money, right? Because we were extremely busy through the pandemic, right? Well, yeah, I don't know why. Maybe maybe it was just because we had a lot of jobs, and I don't know what it was, but we never slowed down during the pandemic. We were still working 12 to 14-hour days, right? We have slowed down considerably since then. Like now we're down to 10 hours, maybe eight and a half to 10 hours a day, right? Which is perfect for me. Perfect for our old fucking age right now. But through the pandemic or whatever, yeah, we stayed home a lot.
Some people did like with the pandemic is that they felt safe inside because you get to catch up on the movies that they didn't get to see, and then
That too,
maybe
but
clean
there is
around
also
the
they
house.
got a lot of people, I myself included, had a lot of opportunity to catch up on not just TV and movies or whatever, but improving their lifestyle, improving their careers, right? So you can people that got laid off or just or could work from home. They found ways to work from home because of that, right? For my example is I worked a lot on my videos. I had one YouTube channel that I just kept putting content on all the time, right? And then I did movie reviews too, which were terrible. You watch those, you listen to those, I was so awkward doing them, but it was a compromise between me and my ex-girlfriend, right? Because I was working so hard on these other projects, these actual short films. And she's like, well, I don't want to take you away from that, but you're spending way too much time doing it, right? I don't think I was compromising on the times and the days I was doing it, right? But I understood, and so we compromised, and we did the movie reviews instead, because we both thought, oh, that's not going to take a lot of time. You just sit there in front of a camera, 1 or 2 shots or whatever, and you just talk about the movie you watched or whatever, right? But it still took a lot of time because the editing part of it, and I had to redo things, and then the audio, and work on the lighting. It was just as much as working on a short film.
But do you have a good software where it can do all that much easier?
So I work on DaVinci Resolve. Back then, I did not use that. I used Pinnacle Studios, right? Which was just a basic software that didn't really have a lot, but it had like I said, it had the basics. You could do almost anything on it, really, but everything was preset. So it did make things a lot easier, but limited at the same time, right? Like I use DaVinci Resolve now, and I use the free one, but I whatever I want to do, I can do. But I did more of those than I did short films. I did about 65 of those. And I was starting to get a good fan base. Like I was reaching about 40 people subscriber. Not that was huge, but it was huge for me at the time, right? And then I was getting like I think 3,000 or 4,000 people watching a video or two, right? So I was like, this is awesome. But they were all older movies. They were like movies from the 90s that people were watching reviews of. Nobody was watching reviews from an unknown guy that from movies that just came out, right? But they were curious, okay, what does this guy have to say about a movie 30 years ago?
90s kid, though. You're a 90s
Yeah,
kid.
80s, 90s or whatever, right? So I was born in 1983, and my favorite movies come from the 90s for sure.
Oh, yeah, that was a good, of course, a good decade, because it was like when, like old school meets technology, because that's when everybody was into the computer stuff. Yeah.
I mean, every generation has films that come out that like precede the generation before. For example, like in the 90s, you had Jurassic Park, right? There was nothing in the 80s like that. Or Michael Bay movies like The Rock and Armageddon and stuff like the Bad Boys or whatever, right? Those were my favorite 90s movies, right? That high octane action, intense stuff, right? I love that. I couldn't watch, like, I still love them to this day, but when people make movies like that now, it's just like I'm bored.
It's different because they recycled the idea.
Yeah, they recycle his movies, right? Like action movies, with like superhero movies mixed in with action. I'm bored.
Action movies. There was also the action heroes like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone. But the movie Eraser by Arnold Schwarzenegger, that was considered the very last of the action movie because everybody got into technology and stuff like that.
Yeah, I can agree.
Do you know why the 80s was all about action? Because it had to do with those like the Vietnam War, like how they returned back and they were all buffed up and they were like kind of like a superhero, like except with no powers.
Yeah.
And then that's how like Sylvester Stallone's character came to life, and so did Arnold Schwarzenegger's. It was all about building muscle and showing off. It was, let's get physical. It was all about that.
Let's get physical.
Physical, yeah. And in the 70s, it was all hippies and melody and like laid back and protesting about the Vietnam War. But in the 1980s, it changed. They stopped caring about what's happening on the other side of the world and started to focus on themselves.
Yeah.
So then they started to exercise more and cared about their health.
Yeah.
But sadly, in the 90s, sugary stuff and lots of stuff like extra large burgers and fries in fast food restaurants became popular. And then that kind of changed again. And then more, of course, the computers were invented.
80s, it was definitely what you were saying, that everybody was focused on themselves, looking good, being muscular.
Yeah,
right?
muscular, like
being like that kind of like macho
man.
Yeah, macho man, kind of like
Rambo,
like a He-Man or something like that. Big muscular dude who can do all this action stuff or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
and the style, like they wore bandana on their
And then the 90s, he was a little bit more like technology based, but he was more like, okay, like for example, the movie like The Rock, right? Like you don't see anybody in that movie flexing their muscles, but it was all about like guns and intensity with like action, quick cuts, right? Action, going fast, right? Like doing everything kind of tactical, right? Like military style almost, right? But he's like Michael Bay brought tactical elements to everyday action movies. Like Bad Boys, police officers are generally not tactical people unless they're SWAT, right? I mean, they can be to a degree, I guess, right? But they're not really military, right? Like like a fat guy can be a cop. Right?
That's a stereotype. Like, oh, he's munching on.
Yeah, but I've seen police officers even today that don't look like they're in the best shape. Right?
Today, but no, they should be though. Yeah,
they definitely should be if they want to run after some dude, right? But I mean, like they're big. They're 6'4", a lot of them, right? But still, like there are some, the odd one that you see put on the pounds, right? Like, and he looks older too. Like I've seen some that are they're probably in their 20th year, right? And maybe don't give a shit anymore. Maybe they're just, driving from police station to police station. Maybe they don't really pull people over or whatever, right? I don't know, but they, I mean, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah. I don't want to get in trouble.
Well, in the States, in America, there's what you call the highway cops, and they're different, like the movie Super Troopers.
Yeah.
They're like sheriffs, you could say.
Yeah, it's weird. Like I thought, like being a sheriff in the States and being a sheriff in Canada are two different things.
Over here, we have Mounties, I see.
Yeah,
Mounties,
but the sheriff over here, as far as I know, maybe Ryan can look this up. Sheriff in Canada is only somebody that transports prisoners from the courthouse to the prison. I believe that's the way that in Canada that's what it is. In the States, it's different.
I think it's kind of like that, but like there's also like sheriffs don't really enforce the law as much as cops do.
Mm-hmm. Police officers.
No, I literally like because I went on a school trip to the court.
Oh.
And we met with the sheriff.
Okay.
And he was saying like he was saying that whenever people like slow down on roads or whatever, like he actually can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
The heck out of him because everyone slows down because of his cop. But him as a sheriff, he actually can't do anything.
Well, that makes sense, I guess. Oh, there's a Canadian encyclopedia on sheriffs. Or is that just no? Sheriff in each county and judicial. How do you say that? Judicial district in Canada. Sheriffs appointed by the lieutenant government in council. Stop moving it, Ryan. Serve process rights of summons. Attend upon Supreme and County Court judges and maintain order in the courts. Performed by constables. Execute judgments. Seizing the judgment debtor's goods.
They don't do anything in the field.
Right.
They do all the stuff behind the scenes.
Yeah,
they don't carry.
They do everything in the court.
They don't carry a gun.
They're like a bailiff.
They do like they can do something about like a crime if there's someone in danger. Or,
Yeah.
Like violence or that. If that happens, but if they're speeding, they're not going to do anything. But if they see someone like attacking someone on the street, they're going to pull over.
Yeah.
And they get like a baton or a taser or something.
So they're just like a glorified security guard. Yeah. I'm not like bashing sheriffs or anything like that. They probably do great. They're probably great at their job and they probably do what they do. But yeah.
But then I don't like how is it different than a Mountie? Let me guess.
Like an
Mounties
RCMP officer?
Yeah, like Mounties are like on horses.
An RCMP officer can do absolutely anything. They're like the normal police officer, right? I'm not reading all that. No, I'm good.
Way too much.
Yeah.
Right.
What is the most important one on there? Can you read it fast? Yeah.
It pretty much just says like someone that's in the judge, like in the jury. Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically what it boils down to. They're just affiliated with the court system.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
They're not like, oh, I'm sheriff. You better listen to me.
They're not like fucking Sylvester Stallone in the movie. You ever seen the movie Copland? He plays a sheriff in that one. So good. It's one of his better roles, other than maybe the first Rocky, right? Where he plays like a autistic sense, right? Or either retarded or autistic sense of. Autistic is not a general term. Okay, so anyways, he acts like he got hit in the head one too many times, right? And he plays a sheriff in this movie, and I don't know where I was going with it, but anyways, in that movie, he acts like a normal police officer. He pulls people over, he arrests people off the street and stuff like that, right? It was actually a very good movie. You guys check it out sometime. 1997, I think.
It came that time.
Yeah, it was like fucking almost 30 years ago now that movie came out. But it was one of his better movies, I think. So are you what do you got going on now? Like are you going to go out tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow's Thursday, and then Friday it's going to be pouring rain. We need the rain. That's nice. Yeah, it's gonna rain. Probably
Okay.
Saturday. I'll see if I can get out though. I'll see.
I usually can only get out Thursdays and sometimes Fridays if I feel like it, because I usually have to work on Saturday mornings, only for a couple of
Saturday
hours. But
morning. So you work 4 days a week?
I work 5.5.
5.5.
roughly. So I work my Monday to Friday, and then I'm the only person that does my job, right? I don't have any. If I get sick, no one covers for me.
How come? Why can't they train a second person?
Well, because then I wouldn't be making the same amount of money I'm making.
Okay. So you're lucky you got that.
Yeah, so I'm in charge of cleaning the machines, maintaining them if they break down, doing the production.
Oh, so you're
right?
maintenance worker.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
well, yeah,
Or
I'm
both.
a production worker, a maintenance worker. I'm also a manager of my job.
Nice. Good to
Right?
hear.
Right?
Huh.
Yeah, but I'm only managed myself.
Really? Okay.
Right? So it's like it's that kind of thing.
So there's only one person in your unit.
Yes,
You're
I manage him.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. At least you probably the employee of the month in your.
Yeah, every fucking day, every month, man. It's just me. I have a big picture of myself on the board right beside my machines, employee of the month. I actually should fucking do that.
You should brag about to other people. Hey, look how many employees I have. You got nothing. You suck.
That's actually a fucking good idea. Fuck, that'd be fucking awesome.
But I gotta ask, in your work though, is it slowed down because of the tariffs? Like, do you send your glass
I
to
don't
the States?
know. I don't know if it's from tariffs, but it has slowed down lately. Like not specifically for my department, but in our warehouse for sure. Like our company has slowed down in some sections, and we've had to lay a couple of people off here and there. But I mean, most of those people that get laid off are like, I don't know this 100%, but most of those people are expected to come back as soon as it gets busy. So it's not like they laid off, right? What, Ryan? Oh, okay, sorry.
But I remember when Donald Trump mentioned about he's gonna put a tariff like 25%, right? But
I think he did.
he already did. But then I first panicked because I thought it was us that was gonna pay the tariffs. No, the Americans are. So why are we? So it's not gonna affect us.
I think we pay the tariffs to a degree, but then it affects them too.
No, it's not. No, but you only pay a tariff if our prime minister put a tariff on the stuff that's getting imported here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's how it is.
Huh.
Yeah, you never heard about it when he said 25%.
I don't really like. I've heard of a little bit of all this kind of stuff, but I really try hard not to be a political person, because I know if I jumped on that bandwagon of following politics, I would probably get pretty fucking pissed off. The equivalent of me following hockey back in the day when I did, and every time we'd lose a fucking game, I would get fucking depressed. Right? So anytime something bad happens in the world of politics, I'd probably feel the same way. So I'm like, I'm not following that shit. It's like a fucking hockey game. Well, it's like, if you don't watch it, if you don't pay attention to it, it doesn't affect you. Right? So it's kind of like the same thing with politics, right? You don't feel the effects day to day. Not really. Well, over time you might, but even that, like you might see it in when you buy a home later on, or if you own a company or something like that, and you have to pay your taxes in those aspects, right? But like, I don't have to deal with any of that shit right now. Crazy nutty world out there.
Yeah.
Right?
Word.
So.
Yeah, but I'm just happy Trudeau was gone because he was actually like the worst probably ever. He was sending money to other countries, but
he was not by the end of it. He was not popular at all. Everybody who voted for him hated him too.
Yeah, they did a huge mistake.
I don't know why they voted for him twice.
It's
what did happen?
Mostly the immigrants he brought in.
Yeah.
Another reason
that's exactly what it was. Sorry to interrupt, but that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, the refugees.
Everybody that voted for him came from a different country.
Mm-hmm. Well, he first became prime minister in 2015 because Canadians actually voted for him because they thought he's going to be like Obama, but he wasn't.
They thought he was a young guy that had some really interesting ideologies, right? And just like any politician, they come on board and they do their shit. They they find ways to make sure that they can live a comfortable, healthy, happy, wealthy life, whatever, right? And then it doesn't matter what that means, like like whatever it may mean. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know anything about politics, so.
Yeah, most people like don't, because that's because I remember back in the days, young people never voted. It was always old people that voted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I turned, I think like 19 or 20, I just didn't bother voting. I began voting when I was like, I think like almost 30 or something. Anyways, let's see, moving on, like back to the 90s movies. I want to talk about the horror movies. Like in the 90s, you think they were the best with Chucky and Scream and all those.
Yeah, I mean, I would say Scream. Chucky, I mean, I could be considered a bad parent for this, but I let my daughter watch Chucky.
How old is your daughter? 4?
5.
5, oh.
Well, she was 3 when she watched it. But
I'm sure you covered her eyes.
Well,
right?
I mean, there were moments where they were pretty horrific scenes where you cover their eyes.
It's because you want to scare her because she had lots of dolls that she played with.
Yeah, but like, okay, for example, for my son, no, but for my son, like I had night terrors growing up, right? Horrific night terrors, right? And I was curious with my son. I just wanted to know, like, if I showed him a couple of these movies, will he get night terrors? So I showed him the movie Insidious. You ever see Insidious? No? So like, what's that? Oh, well, you didn't get any night terrors as far as I'm concerned.
I got some at my mom's house.
Yeah, well, that wasn't at my house. It doesn't bother, whatever. It was a movie. It had, who it had? Rose Byrne, Patrick, what's this guy's name? Patrick Wilson. Yeah, this one right here. It's about astral projection. Right? So this little boy, he falls down a little ladder in an attic, and he's in a coma for like 6 months or something like that. And then this lady comes over to investigate, right, to find out what's going on with the son. And then she finds out that like the little boy's soul has left his body, and he's gone into this otherworldly place where now the father has to go in to try to find him and bring it back to his body. Right? It's kind of like Poltergeist in a way, right? But a more darker, insidious version of it. No pun intended. Huh? Yeah, a little bit. There's 5 of them now. Right? They're making another one too. They get worse as they go along, though.
Do you ever think there's too many sequels in horror movies? Like how there was so much in Scream and this Insidious, and then Saw. There's like 11 or 12 Saw movies. Too many.
Yeah, well, it's because they just keep making money, and like with the Saw movies, they're only made for anywhere between $3 to $5 million, and they're making $100 million almost every freaking movie worldwide. So why not keep making them if people keep watching them?
Well,
right?
okay, that makes sense. That's what why they're making so many Fast and Furious movies.
Well, I mean, that's a little sketchy because I would say the last 2 or 3 of those movies, like they make money, but it's on the cusp of like losing money. Because each movie costs them $250 million to make, right? And there's only 1 or 2 of those movies that made over $1 billion, right? So, and then now, like every movie that they've made, like I think the last one only made $500 or $600 million. Ryan, you want to check that out? To Fast 10 or whatever?
Wait, there's Fast 10 and then
they're making one more.
Yeah, part 2.
Right.
So that's technically let's see, that's 10, it's 11.
Say like
and then there's Hobbs and Shaw. That's a spin-off.
Yeah, so you could technically say that that's a Fast and the Furious movie, but I honestly think it was better. It was better acted, better directed. What was it? $558 million. Oh, $700 million it made. So
okay, then let's see the Rotten Tomatoes review.
Oh, that's gonna be in the fucking 40s.
Yeah.
50s? 56.
You were right.
Oh yeah, let's see.
Popcorn
entertaining.
Is just normal people. The 56 is like the
but I think nowadays you have to look at the audience score because people are slowly just not giving a shit about the critics anymore.
I remember back then, everybody said you should judge by whatever Sisker and Ebro rated. If it's 2 thumbs down, don't watch it.
Yeah.
They're just 2 people, 2 person's opinion.
Yeah.
Who cares? Yeah, about this.
They're not alive.
Yeah, the
anymore.
popcorn is like normal people like us.
Yeah. So that's number 8, right? The Fate of the Furious. Yeah, that's 8. See, 1.2. Yeah, so that was probably the second biggest.
Yeah, number
7 was 1.5.
Number 7 made the most because of the last with Paul Walker.
Yeah, well, that's the only reason why it made that much is because he died.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.